Happy Monday. Welcome to the sneak preview. I'm Connor Eyzaguirre.
I'm Caleb Leger.
And we finally have some films to talk about. Today we'll be discussing three 2022 releases: Shudder's latest original, SLAPFACE, Roland Emmerich's disaster flick, Moonfall, and the long-awaited Jackass Forever. Definitely a wide variety today.
I feel like long awaited for some, like myself, and apparently Austin, as I just learned before we recorded, and Jackass. And then for others, probably the film they're hoping to stop seeing advertised, but fuck you. You're about to hear more about it today, because I fucking loved it, and Connor loved it.
Yeah, it's frankly, I don't see how you don't laugh at least once. I mean, it's Jackass. We all know what it is. We've all seen it at least once. It's ridiculous.
Title.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's people fucking themselves up. What more do you need? It's not Citizen Kane. Lighten the fuck up. But before we get into it, let's see what happened last week in film.
Last week in film.
First up, one trailer to talk about. We touched on this briefly last week on one of our other shows. The trailer for Texas Chainsaw Massacre hits Netflix on February 18th. And now we finally have a look into Fede Alvarez's vision for this new movie. And what do you think of that vision?
I'm more on board than prior to this trailer releasing as far as his vision. There's a lot of worry for me going into this movie with the fact that the original director left, I think, a week into production. There was the rumored test screenings, which Alvarez claims were just that they were fake news, but who fucking knows, right? He said, she said. And then there was the fact that this was supposed to be theatrical and then got picked up by Netflix. And when the whole DVD market was coming out, and like not DVD, I'm sorry, but VHS was coming out, like home video and straight to like videos and thing. At first, when that happened, there was a lot of just like, this is gonna be shit, just put it out that way, right? Before it became more of a like, oh no, we can use this to put out stuff that the studios just will not bank on or are actually hidden gems. You're seeing that with the streamers in a way where like, right, I would say I'm waiting for some films to prove it. Hopefully this is the one. But a lot of times it's, oh, this won't make it that well, and theatrical, just fucking dump it on a streamer and we can forget about it. Hopefully we're trying to get out of that and see streaming being used more as a tool of like things that they can really experiment with without the danger of, getting people into theaters to see it. But after seeing this trailer with all that kind of going into my not too excited, kind of thinking like this series might be on its last legs, seeing this trailer put a little bit more hope for me. I actually was really impressed with the tone. It felt great. This is the first time I'd say since 2003's remake that I felt dirty watching a Chainsaw Massacre film. I felt dirty watching the original, dirty watching the remake, and I felt that watching this trailer. So it looks like they're going for a very grimy, just dirty tone that I think always fits well with the franchise when they go for it. I like the hints that this is gonna be a brutal, fucking violent Chainsaw Massacre. One of my favorite parts that could have been a cringe thing for me because I don't need to hear it in a movie, but when he gets on the bus and he's like, do anything and we'll cancel you, bro. And I remember just seeing, fuck, not a fucking line like that in my Chainsaw Massacre. But then when they show him fucking that dude up and it looks like it's gonna be a goddamn bloodbath in that bus, it's like, okay, never mind. You're forgiven. It can't be any worse than go get him, cuz I'm fucking Texas Chainsaw 3D. So I'm more on board. I'm going to actually be a little hopeful going into the 18th on what Netflix and Alvarez has to bring us with this Chainsaw Massacre.
I can't wait for there to be a vote over whether we want Texas Chainsaw 2 or Evil Dead 2, and there's a vote, and then we get Don't Breathe 3.
Right?
I can't wait for that.
That's the part I'm looking forward to.
Say no more. Here you go. Like I'll never forgive that one. But yeah, I think this looks neat. I think it blows my mind that you of all people have been so apprehensive about a new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie.
None of the signs for this were going good. I was like, this is not boding well at all.
Well, I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised. I hope so anyway.
I know some people are like, there's been a lot of memes pointing out the whole like Sally's arc that they're hinting at in this film compared to Jamie Lee Curtis's. And for that, all I say is, if you want to be technical, ladies and gentlemen, you want me to really fucking do the whole push my glasses up film snob thing, Chainsaw Massacre came out first. It came out in 1974. If anyone deserves that particular type of storyline more than Jamie Lee Curtis, it's the character of Sally Hardesty, as far as I'm concerned. So go fuck yourself.
Yeah, fair enough. Speaking of horror, thanks to the success of the new Scream, a sixth film has been announced. It will be retaining the writing-directing duo who helmed the fifth film. I thought Scream felt pretty final. So I'm wondering, is this the best idea? I guess we'll see.
I'm going to stay hopeful on this one, because before they ever even announced this, Radio Silence talked about that they did have ideas cooked up for future sequels, that when they did this, they were already looking at where it could go for future sequels, so they were already planning ahead to begin with.
Okay.
So this isn't like a rush job. They already had ideals cooking, and it looks like now that they got the green light, they're going to go ahead and go forward one. The fact that they're bringing back the whole creative team, as far as writing, directing, and even producing, because one of the Radio Silence guys produced the last one, he's producing this one, does give me hope. I was actually talking to Josh about it. We were emailing because I told him, he's obviously trepidatious if they want to keep it as tied to the original, films as possible. I thought I was like, I get that, and I completely understand, but I always got the feeling that, and you said it right there, right, that last one felt final. To me, I had the feeling that it felt final, and that this is the last one that's going to have any fucking ties to the original, and that going forward, it is going to finally just be these characters moving the story forward. Because if this franchise wants to survive and keep going like it clearly does, it has to move away from Sydney. It has to move away from all of that and just plow forward. And I think they did a good job of setting that up in the last Scream, in this past one, to move forward and finally do a series without it being tied to Sydney.
You're right. They did set that up very well. I just hope that they aren't overpowered by fan outcry or anything like that. Like it gets forced in by the wrong producer. I also hope they don't just. I know this is probably not going to happen, but I don't want them to call it Scream 2. Probably won't happen.
They should call it Scream Kills, just to fuck with Halloween.
They should call it fucking Stab.
Scream 6, Stab Harder.
Scream 6, Stab 2.
Fuck with people. Now, I have hope. As far as that, I get that, but also remember that it's not the Weinsteins producing this.
That's true. That's true.
It's Spyglass Media and someone else that I cannot remember off the top of my head, so forgive me. But it's not them doing it. It's the producers that, from the looks of it, considering they let them do what they did with the last one, I get the feeling we'll leave them alone, especially with how successful this was. Compared to the fact that Scream 4 was supposed to start a new trilogy, when that did, and that didn't exactly work out, but this one did, I would get the feeling that based off that, this producers will leave them alone and let them go forward with the ideals that they were hinting at and talking about in that interview I had read. Because obviously, because it said they're shooting this summer, which tells me that whatever they had cooked up for a sequel was okayed by the studio for them to go into fucking production so soon. Which means there must be a script and everything good to go. I wonder how much of that interview when he said yeah, we have ideals, was actually already been moving and progressing, so they could have something ready to go if they got the green light.
Scream is in theaters and Jackass is popular again. What fucking year is it?
Well, you saw that thing I sent you.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's 1998 again. I'm a year away from 30, so I'm not old by any means, but someone point out, the people who, we had the 80s nostalgia, because a lot of people from that era that were kids got older, making movies now, so they go back to that. You're seeing the same thing with the 90s now, essentially. You really are.
Like those guys are now roughly our age. They're having their big breaks in the business, and now they're making stuff with 90s nostalgia. So it's like, weird sort of way, it's that whole fucking age thing, right? It's, hey, you guys are old now, so all this stuff is nostalgia and cool and hip if you're an old person. It's like, oh, fuck you. Like, but hey, I'll take it because I'm getting shit that I would never expect to get in the fucking theater.
True. I'll take it. On to some interesting casting news. David Lynch has joined the cast of Steven Spielberg's semi-autobiographical drama, The Fabelmans, in an undisclosed role. So this movie that Spielberg's making about his own family now has David Lynch involved.
This is like the strangest project to me. I am so 50-50 if I want to see this, because nothing's like screams pretentious like a autobiographical film on essentially yourself, right? Like on yourself, like wow. But like, okay, David Lynch is in the movie. He acts every so often, but not often.
Yeah. Well, I remember it's been a while since I looked into this, but I remember Seth Rogen, Paul Dano, they were involved. So this is shaping up to be interesting. I wonder what the story is going to be about. Young kid wants to make movies, probably.
Who knows? It might be like Eminem's 8 Mile. We all end up like loving it. That was somebody autobiographical, and it turned out to be a damn good movie.
True. So I'm gonna wait for a trailer before I start judging this one.
Yeah, same. I'll wait for a trailer. Like I said, I'll wait for a trailer. I have my feelings about like I wish Spielberg would go back to things like Ready Player One and that fun side that he clearly still has in him. But apparently he doesn't want to go back to that. And okay.
Well, he's getting up there in years, wants to, make his reminiscence movies.
George Miller's still making Mad Max movies, so don't give me that. And he's I think he's older than fucking Spielberg, if not around the same age.
Yeah. But Spielberg's like his name is so tied to popular culture itself that like I feel like he feels some pressure to kind of tell his own story. I don't know. I don't want to speak for the guy.
Yeah, he shouldn't feel pressure. I mean, he can literally do whatever the fuck he wants in Hollywood at this point. Like literally, he can write himself a fucking check, and Hollywood goes, okay. Like,
well, I bet he chose this over Indy 5.
Well, didn't he fucking leave Indy 5 because of creative differences with the studio? That the famous 2 words you hear all the time.
I put zero stock in that statement these days because it means fucking nothing.
It's literally just a way to be like, we didn't agree, so we, amicably left before things got bad.
Yeah. And we got James Mangold helming that one, who was a fine choice to do Old Man Indy. So
honestly, he pulled off fucking Logan, and I fucking to this day love Logan. So I'm down to see what he does with an Old Man Indy.
Yeah. This next movie, I don't need to see a trailer with like I'm on board with this immediately. There's a biopic of Keith Moon in the works, currently titled The Real Me. Moon was the wild, controversial drummer of The Who until his death in 1978 at only 32 from an accidental overdose of prescription medication to treat alcoholism. That dude ingested everything, and he was the craziest drummer maybe ever. And I am so excited to see this, especially since it has the backing of Roger Daltrey. Probably Pete Townsend too. I haven't looked into that, but I know Roger Daltrey supporting this. So I'm in. I fucking love The Who. I want to see this so bad.
I'm down. I like The Who. And I know Keith Moon's one of the greatest I was about to say guitarist, Jesus. One of the greatest drummers of all time. And yeah, I remember being a kid and when I was, getting into metal and stuff, and my dad was introduced me to classic musicians. At classic at the time, I don't know what they probably call them nowadays. But The Who was one of them, and he showed me the footage of Keith Moon performing and passing out on stage because I think took horse tranquilizer or something before the concert and passed out, and they was they woke him up. He played a little bit more and then passed out again, and they could not wake him up anymore. I think a fan came up and finished.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Moon couldn't fucking do it.
What an epic story, though. Be legions of fans. We need a drummer. Who here can help us? And some lucky asshole is just like, I got this. And he drummed with the Who for a night. Because Keith Moon fucked himself up.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm down. Like I said, I look forward to the day that a lot of the bands I listen to will get biographies. I think they're about to hit their fucking time. Half of those bands I listen to now and they're like 20-year something career mark, so it's fucking bound to happen. But hey, I'll take Keith Moon. I like the Who.
Oh yeah. There's also a biopic of comedian Groucho Marx in the works, with Oscar winner Jeffrey Rush set to star. The film is titled Raised Eyebrows and will focus on the comedian's later years. And it has been a minute since we heard from Jeffrey Rush.
Yeah, it has. God damn. Zombie is probably pissed in a way. Because Rob Zombie loves the Munsters and Groucho Marx. He was trying to get a fucking Groucho Marx film made for years.
I wonder if he had to choose and he chose the Munsters.
He probably did, because he's like a massive fan of the Munsters. Granted, I wonder if now he's trying to, I don't know what the fuck's going on with him now, because his wife created a shit ton of controversy over the weekend over something that she supported in Canada, I guess wasn't the right thing to support.
God damn it. Sherry, fuck.
Yeah, I guess there's some like it's Freedom Convoy, whatever the fuck that is going on in Canada. I guess she poured the truckers here, like a bunch of like, or essentially the bad guys, like the racist bad ones. And a lot of people have been like putting her post up on Twitter and like being like, oh shit. Even some like the horror careers guys I listen to, they defend her all the time. So like people should stop shitting on her and her, husband's films. Like, so what? She wants to be in her husband's fucking film. So what if he wants to, blah blah. And even he was like, one of them, Trace was like, yeah, he goes, I defend her, but oof, this is bad. This is bad. So I don't know if what he's currently doing, whether that be very angry right now, because he has like literally his dream project filming.
Well, fuck.
Or he's just trying to like keep himself out of that.
That's probably the smartest thing. Just stay out of the shit. Keep working on your movie.
Yeah. But she's one of the main stars in the movie, of course, because it's his fucking wife.
I know, but I got nothing. I don't know what he should do with this. This is bad.
I know. I saw it and I just thought of it because I know he's been wanting to do a Groucho Marx film for years. He's a massive Groucho Marx fan also. And I just thought of that. And I'm like, I remember seeing it over the weekend, just being like, shit. I was like, don't let this affect the Monsters. Like, don't do this for Rob Zombie, because as I've said before, he fucking needs it. I really feel like that poor dude's been not getting his due backup on his past couple of films, and he needs this, as far as I'm concerned, especially having the studio backing and everything for it. So,
well, back to Jeffrey Rush. I remember he was one of the he was one of their first Me Too guys.
Was he?
Yeah, back when like Kevin Spacey allegations and Harvey Weinstein allegations, there was also some Jeffrey Rush allegations happening from his time in a theater troupe that he was in. That they said that he was accused of inappropriate behavior. He sued the magazine for libel. He stayed out of the spotlight dealing with that lawsuit for a while now. He hasn't done like anything. So the fact that he's coming back, I hope that means it was, that he was on the right side. I want to like Jeffrey Rush has been one of my favorite actors. I really don't want him to be a piece of shit. Was
it multiple people accusing him or one person?
I don't remember. It got overshadowed by everything else. So I haven't looked further into it.
I'm not trying to, I know I said this, I think a couple of weeks ago, I'm not trying to downplay any actual assault that someone has faced. But in my experience with these cases in Hollywood, if a lot of people come forward, it's typically true. In the case, like Hanson's case, a lot of people are coming forward. If it's one person, it's usually not true.
Okay, so as of April 2019, Jeffrey Rush won the defamation case against the Daily Telegraph, who claimed that he sexually assaulted a co-star.
Yep. Okay. I was like, if it's ever just some random newspaper trying to say it, no one supports it, or just one person comes out, 9 times out of 10, in the case of Hollywood, it tends to not be true. When a
Yeah.
lot of people come forward, like the Kevin Spacey thing, or like like I said recently with the Marilyn Manson thing, it wasn't just Dita Von Teese that came forward; it was a bunch of other ladies that came forward. Then it tends to be true because now it's like, okay, now some shit went down.
Okay, so according to the allegations, he allegedly inappropriately touched an actress he worked on during a 2015 production of King Lear. But then he sued the Daily Telegraph for claiming sexual assault. He won the case. He outright denied the claims. I'm gonna assume, as of now, he's clean. Since he won the case, he's back in films. But it definitely his career took a blow because of that.
Yeah, but I'm going to say, just like with Chris Hardwick, other Stranger Things guys, that they were just trying to fucking. Someone didn't like him in that newspaper and was trying to start some shit.
Yeah, but again, I don't know the whole story, but Jeffrey Rush has been an actor I've respected, and I don't want to hate him until I know everything.
Yeah, I'm going to assume based off other cases that are like the ongoing fucking Johnny Depp Amber Heard lawsuit that clearly she's fucking crazy. That he's fine. As far as like him being a good guy, he probably is. It just sounds like someone didn't like him at that newspaper. But good to see him coming back and not doing a Pirates of the Caribbean movie. I do say that even in 4 and 5, he is still the best part to both those movies. Because I really don't like the ones past 3.
Have you seen the movie Mystery Men?
No, I haven't. I keep hearing a lot of good things about that.
He's the bad guy.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
I can see that.
He plays this megalomaniac scientist named Casanova Frankenstein, who wants to take over the city and like reshape reality in his image, and the only thing standing in his way are a bunch of wannabe superheroes.
God.
And he is great. He's super German. He's like he's hamming it up to 11. He's perfect.
You know what he was really good in? I don't know if you've ever seen it, but the 99 remake of House on Haunted Hill.
Yeah, where he played basically Vincent Price.
Yeah, he fucking hammed it up. He channeled Vincent Price. He was so good in that movie.
Yeah, I have a soft spot for that remake. I really like that movie.
Dude, honestly, so that company, Dark Castle Entertainment, like I kind of have a soft spot for a lot of the movies. Like that one, 13 Ghosts. I need to check out House of Wax. Apparently it's getting a reappraisal. A lot of people are like, it's not that bad, is what a lot of people are saying. So I kind of have a soft spot for what they put out. It wasn't like the quality fucking horror films, but and someone pointed out in something I was reading, like they put a lot of money to their horror films, and it fucking showed. Like they had lavish set productions in their fucking movies that you don't see a lot of anymore in horror films.
Well, I also thought House on Haunted Hill was a very smart remake because it didn't just do the same shit. It tried a different angle. In this case, the twist is it is all real.
Yeah.
And I like that. There were moments in that movie that are creepy as fuck. Like when one of the characters is in the basement with like a camcorder and she's filming, and all of a sudden she's filming the doctors doing surgery, but she can't see it outside the camera. And then like the reanimator guy,
Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah, like looks at her through the camera, and there's nothing, like she can't see anything with her eyes, but through the camera, he's staring right at her. Like that freaked me out.
That was a lot of it was also like the earliest use of like the fast moving jittery ghost.
Yeah.
Like since like Jacob's Ladder, I would say. Where it's just like that fucking movement. And until it got overused. I think Fair.com fucking used it again, except that was a really terrible fucking movie. But yeah, I remember being like legit creeped out at moments in that film.
Yeah. Good call on a nice Jeffrey Rush performance there. Yeah, he's a guy he's a reliable performer. He's an Oscar winner, very respected until all that shit went down, and then he just vanished. So I hope this is a good comeback. I want him to be successful if he's innocent.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna say he's innocent, and you're welcome for that pick. You know me, I'm a horror fan. I've seen House on Haunted actually quite a bit, so his performance always stood out for me to this day.
My mom is a horror fan, and that is the one movie she will never watch again, because those stop motion ghosts scared the absolute hell out of her.
They're fucking creepy.
Like I even mention it and she shuts down. She's like, no, we're not talking about that. Like it's a legit fear. It's her blue monkey.
That damn it.
Check out our Filmgazm on evolution to know what I mean by that.
No one else is going to be scared by the blue monkey, quite like you are.
I understand that, but everybody's got their own monkey.
I don't like how that's what you're referring to it as.
Yeah, it's like everyone's got a monkey on their back.
It's like Hot Tub Time Machine. Great White Buffalo. Great
White Buffalo. I haven't watched that in a long time. It's a funny ass movie.
Yeah.
Next up, this is interesting. There's another biopic in the works. Cult leader Jim Jones getting his own movie. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is going to star as Jim Jones alongside Chloe Grace Moretz, who's going to play a survivor. The film's called White Knight. Will be directed by Norwegian filmmaker Anne Sawitsky. And I have a memory of talking about a Jim Jones movie that Leonardo DiCaprio was going to star in. So
yeah, I think we have now 2 different Jim Jones films in production. Are we about to get 2 in 1 year? Because you know how we always or not always, I know pandemic kind of fucked that up for us, but usually every year we get 2 films of the exact same storyline, and one is usually better than the other, obviously.
Yeah.
Are we about to get that again? Is it going to be Jim Jones starts that wave again?
Sometimes it's big asteroids going to hit the Earth. Sometimes it's alien invasion. Sometimes it's terrorists attack the White House. But that does happen. Like the same script gets split in half somehow, retooled, ends up as 2 different movies, and it ends up becoming a war.
My fear is when it's like it clearly wasn't intentional. Like Tread and The Raid coming out the same year. Like clearly, if you look at when they got filmed, unless Tread sent a spy over to Indonesia to fucking look at the filming and do it, there was no way in hell they knew what the fuck was going on because they were filming at the same fucking time.
Yeah.
And then they came out and they were just like, huh, interesting.
My favorite is White House Down and Olympus Has Fallen because it is the same fucking movie. Like they didn't even try to hide it.
No, except what's funny is that Olympus Has Fallen got like 2 more sequels out of it, and White House Down just crashed and burned.
It's so weird, Deep Impact and Armageddon, Mars Attacks and Independence Day. It's so weird that this keeps happening, and I think it's Jim Jones this year.
Yeah, we're getting 2 versions of the Kool-Aid this year apparently. So, or I guess next year because the guy now. So it probably will be next year, not this year.
True.
So, what to learn next year, folks, is don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Leonardo DiCaprio versus Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Who's going to play the better Jim Jones? I mean, off the top of my head, I think I know, but...
You know what? No, I'm not. I think that's actually tough because they're both tremendous actors.
Yeah, but I feel like Leo, unless Joseph Gordon-Levitt's going to gain a lot of weight, Leo already has a leg up on that one.
I mean, Leo's not that bad though. Still,
I don't mean like weight. I mean like commitment. Not to put Joseph Gordon-Levitt down, but Leo, I feel like is willing to go fucking far for a role.
I think Levitt's willing to go far. I mean, I've seen things like Don and stuff. I was just like, okay, I wasn't expecting this from Levitt.
Well, I'm talking in terms of physical transformation.
Oh, okay, maybe we haven't seen Levitt really pick a role that's pushed him like that.
That's
too.
true.
So it's hard to say. Like for me, it's hard to say because we haven't really seen him do that. I would just say, for me, I'm going like performance-wise, it's hard because they're both phenomenal actors.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I don't want to step on those toes. They are both fantastic.
Yeah, performance-wise, very hard for me to pick. You're not wrong in that. Like we've seen Leo willing to go the fucking distance for his roles. I mean, he's proven that time and time again. But at the same time, maybe because we haven't seen Levitt do it, that we might be fucking surprised at how far he's willing to go. You know what I mean? Like it's tough. I mean, it's really, really tough on this one.
It's true. I feel like both of them are pretty young for Jim Jones. I mean, I would have gone with somebody like Brian Cox. Like he was like, Jones was an older guy when this all went down.
How old was Jones?
Let's find out. Jim Jones.
I think both Leo and Joseph Gordon-Levitt are in their 40s.
When Jim Jones did, when he killed, he was only 47. Shit, he looks rough for 47.
Well, he wasn't a Hollywood actor that watches his intake and stuff.
He was a cult leader. You'd think you'd try a little harder.
No, you just need power.
I don't know. I'm excited. I hope they're both good. Maybe maybe we'll get to see more movies about some cults with this.
Yeah. I mean, hey, look, I'm down. I don't think we actually have like an official traumatization on Jim Jones and all that shit anyway, so I'm excited. I mean, Jesus Christ, we're getting a fucking Joe Exotic TV show before we get this fucking Jim Jones thing. I don't know if you've seen the advertisements for the Peacock show.
I've been ignoring it. I never watched Tiger King. I don't give a fuck. So I never jumped on that bandwagon. So
I highly enjoyed the first season and got very swept up in it. But when I watched 2 and 3, I remember just going, I don't need this. Josh was fucking into 2 and 3. And I was like, dude, I'm not. I'm like, I'm learning nothing new. It's just the same thing. This person's now getting investigated. They lost it all. They're probably going to go to jail. Like, nothing that wasn't presented in the first season that makes me go, oh my God.
Didn't Nick Cage leave the project?
Yeah, but that's because Amazon I sat on it too long and it was just looking like they weren't going to do it. I don't think they are.
Who's playing Joe Exotic now?
I don't know the guy playing it in this show. Because this isn't what Amazon was doing. He was attached to like an Amazon production on it, but Amazon sat on it and decided not to fucking do it.
Yeah.
And that I would have fucking watched in a fucking heartbeat. Because after seeing the show, I remember thinking, like, if there's anyone that can do this, give me fucking Nicolas Cage with a horrendous Oklahoma accent and a fucking blonde mullet talking about his goddamn king fucking the piercing on your dick. I can't remember the goddamn term for it, but he had a piercing stick.
Prince Albert.
There we go. Thank you. Fuck, I was mind blanking. But yeah, give me all of that with Nicolas Cage, please.
Next up, Dakota Johnson is in talks to play the comic book character Madam Web for a new project from Sony and Marvel. No word yet on what this project will be, but she's already it's already controversial because the character of Madam Web is blind and Dakota Johnson is not blind.
Well, wait, are you serious?
Yes.
They realize there's not a lot of blind actors working in Hollywood, right?
Well, I just want to point out nobody's gone after Charlie Cox. Like, are we really going to do this?
Well, they fucking demanded his ass be back in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, Jesus.
I don't understand.
I thought you were about to say, like, because she isn't old, because I know, like, technically the first iteration of this character is old and dying, and then he gets passed down to a younger person who is presumably going to be Dakota Johnson.
Well, I'm wondering, like, is Madam Web getting her own movie? And, like, if so, how will that work? Because this character's always been more of an advisory character.
I'm at a point right now with this that, like, I understand that Spider-Man No Way Home was a huge fucking success, but Sony is scaring me because they're kind of doing what they always did when the Spider-Man film was a huge success. They started announcing a shit ton of sequels. There's no goddamn plan. Just, oh, you guys want it? Here's all of it. And it's a fucking shit show. So, and with the many fucking times they've delayed Morbius, and there might now be a fucking not Tobey Maguire, a fucking Andrew Garfield cameo, and they may or may not want to pursue it. And I don't fucking care anymore. I'm going to watch the fucking movies. I don't care about what they announce, because all it is making it seem like they have no goddamn plan. They're just trying to get on this success as much as they can while they can.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Sony's never really known what to do with these characters because they can't develop their own universe because it just wouldn't make sense without Spider-Man.
Yeah, because it's so funny because all of these recent Spider-Man things all go back to Sony. Marvel hasn't done shit. They're like, hey, cool, next movie. They've been exactly how it was just like, okay, awesome, Doctor Strange 2, let's go. Like
the giant Spider-Man that was so, like, Sony was so, like, they needed this. They were freaking out about, connecting all this together, a multiversal Spider-Man movie. Marvel's just like, this is their next movie. Like, they don't even need the win. It's just, this is more chump change. And then now they're focusing on Doctor Strange. I love that level of success that they have now.
Yeah, and then it's just funny because it shows you how desperate Sony is, and it's like, Sony, why are you holding on to this then? Why not just give it to fucking Marvel, because you don't know what to do with it? Because as soon as you get a huge success, and apparently your highest grossing goddamn film you've had, you start freaking out, and your carefully laid plan you had at first with, these offshoot films, now you're just saying, fuck it, we're going through it all and just see what sticks. And I'm hearing like a new announcement about something, a new rumor about something every fucking day. Like Andrew Garfield might be in Morbius. That's why they delayed it. Now we got this Madam Web movie. They're pursuing another film with Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. I just fucking saw that rumor the other day. Like, and fighting like the King symbiote, or whatever the fuck it was. I read it. It was a fucking rumor.
I read that too.
Yeah, like it's not stopping. Meanwhile, I'm not hearing shit about Doctor Strange 2. So guess what? That means I'm infinitely still more excited for Doctor Strange 2 and don't give a shit outside of the upcoming Across the Spider-Verse, I believe. It's the title, Across Spider Part 1. Other than that movie, I don't give a shit about what Sony's doing at all. Morbius, I had a mild curiosity, and then they did this one last, they did this recent, I'm not going to say last, this recent delay that just made me say, fuck it, I'm done caring about this movie.
Yeah, I get it. It's hard to, it's hard to decide how you feel about these films when most of them don't even end up happening in the first place. I'm still waiting on that Aaron Taylor Johnson Kraven the Hunter movie. Remember that?
Yeah, that's when the fuck, like, I felt like we won't hear anything about that until they can figure out what the fuck they're doing in Morbius, because they're so goddamn focused on that. Like, I think the last I heard about anything was Venom 3 is officially happening. And I was like, okay, cool, I knew that. Kind of figured that was happening.
Yeah. Well, obviously we're going to get more of these little bits of Sony's.
It looks extra sad to me because the DCEU is finally starting to get their shit together with whoever is in charge of it now. And I'm hearing far less like this movie is going to happen than it does. Like everything they've been announcing is actually happening now. The only thing that I think changed was like I think Static Shock, or one of the HBO Max films, is now becoming a theatrical film because they have that much confidence in it. But besides that, they're looking better than Sony because everything they're announcing now is happening and is coming out.
Well, I mean, if Sony would just hold their horses and announce this shit when they already have plans in place, instead of just the second some executive comes up with an idea, it ends up on Twitter. Like, give it time to breathe before you tell everybody you're trying something.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, it looks, compared to what we know about how DC used to be, it's sad that they're looking better now than Sony. Like,
yeah, it's pretty pathetic. Ending on some sad news, character actor Howard Hessman has died at 81 years old from complications due to colon surgery. Hessman was known for his role as Dr. Johnny Fever on the popular sitcom WKRP in Cincinnati, as well as his roles in This Is Spinal Tap, Flight of the Navigator, About Schmidt, and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 as Uncle Meat.
Yeah, okay. It's been a hot minute since I've seen Halloween 2, but it's coming back to me.
He was a name I recognized. I'm not really all that familiar with his work. I know my grandpa's a big fan of WKRP, so he was pretty bummed when he heard about this. But I hate seeing these guys pass, and I want to throw them their props when I can.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks. This year's just been tough. It's been like, it seems like a constant stream. Can't remember if it was this week or a couple weeks ago, but apparently like a random Walking Dead actor passed, Jay Mosley. He was like 31. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, but yeah. Again, not really super familiar with his work. Like I said, when you said the Halloween 2 and Uncle Meat, it was like, okay, I think I remember who that is. But again, I mean, I haven't seen Halloween 2 since it fucking came out in 2009. So, it's been a hot minute. But yeah, all we gotta give these guys their prop. It kind of bugs me a lot of times when like these people pass away, and because they're not someone like, Burt Reynolds level of fame when he was alive, or, someone who's alive now, like Leonardo DiCaprio, since we were just talking about him anyway, that, they get all this attention when they pass, but then these lesser, in Hollywood's eyes, these lessers don't get that attention. They just get a quick little blip and that's it.
Yeah, well, we're the little guy too, so I like to throw some love to the character actors, to the guys who don't make it on CNN. with that, let's get into the films of the week. First up, SLAPFACE, Shudder's latest release, and a film that I had no intention to watch until you recommended it, and then I was like, oh, all right. I don't mean like all right to your recommendation. I mean like I felt the movie was just all right.
I liked it. I will say this. When I was typing out I don't know if you read my review yet, but when I was typing out, I think I was like, I get it if you're not into it, because it has a slow pace. It's a very slow movie. And even I was at times like, okay, pick it up. Like, Jesus Christ. I think what I walked away liking about it was I thought the guys playing the brothers were really good in the movie. I thought the performances that they were giving were fucking great, especially the younger brother, August Maturo. To me, was phenomenal. I was not expecting even remotely like that good of like that level of good performance in a very low budget horror film. So that was one thing I liked. I liked their usage of the monster as far as like it being low budget. You don't get super clear shots of it. You don't always get fully in camera. They made sure to film in ways where it was like it's in the shadows. You only see a little bit of it, so it could stay nice and creepy, and you have like some level of unease when you see it, and then you get kind of like confused because it starts being nice. You know, like the way they use the monster is really smart to me, and for me also the ending just fucking wallops you with like the bleakest way it could fucking end. They're like, you want a happy ending? You're not getting it in this movie.
See, I didn't feel that. I didn't feel that wallop. I was more like, oh, that's it? Like,
you cold-hearted bastard.
So this movie, all right, let's give a brief, brief plot synopsis, because people who follow the calendar might not have, they might have missed this one. These two brothers are living in the woods, kind of raising each other after their parents die in a car accident. I think it was a car accident, right?
Yeah, it was during the opening credits that you see in the newspaper clipping.
Yeah. And they're pretty emotionally fucked up from that. They play this game called SLAPFACE to kind of control each other's emotions, and they just take turns slapping each other. And the whole film, it ends with a kind of a message, to an anti-bullying message, and a thing to seek help. And I didn't get that vibe from the movie. It never felt like a movie about bullying.
So I got the vibe through and through, because you have like the younger brother who's getting constantly harassed by those scores.
Yeah.
Even
well, I mean, like you get, there is the bullying aspect of it, but like I never felt that connection to the monster.
Oh, see, and I felt that because I noticed the monster would attack people that hurt the younger brother. Because you had that whole scene when you're ready to play SLAPFACE, and you see the monster coming up behind him, and he quickly hugs him and says, "I love you," so the monster won't fucking do anything. So I mean, I got it through and through with the monster.
But then the ending implies that there is no monster, that he did all this.
Well, yeah, that's a great mystery. That's again just a way to fucking destroy you at the end. When the cops come and the big brother is now dead, they're clearly going to fucking, this kid's going to jail, because, or juvie, or wherever he's gonna be sent to. And was the monster there or not? Or did it get escaped? Because it had a tendency to fucking move in and out of places.
I don't know. Like, if there is no monster, then you're telling me that this like 12-year-old kid killed a whole bunch of cops in a police station.
I think that was 100% a monster, and it just got escaped. It escaped. Because
I don't think the movie was very clear on that, and I don't like.
I feel like you just didn't get it.
Why do you do that to me? Fuck you. I gave it a 6. I thought it was boring at times. I felt like there wasn't like all the characters you wanted to keep, like, see developed just randomly died. Like the girlfriend, and then the kid's girlfriend, like just out of nowhere, just blah, gone. I mean,
I developed before they died. That was literally like 30 to 40 minutes of development before they died.
But I wanted them to like
hour.
They needed to like, I wanted them to figure this out and like stop the monster or something, but it turned into a non-traditional kind of ethereal thing, and I wasn't on board.
So you didn't get it. That's what I'm hearing.
You gave it like a 7. You didn't care for it that much either.
Yeah, well, it's just because like I'll agree with the slow pacing, but the movie was already showing the monster being kind of like ethereal throughout because it would just randomly fucking disappear when other people would come around sometimes, like quick, like that whole
Sometimes.
like again that whole scene when they were doing SLAPFACE and comes up behind him, the bird turns around, the monster's fucking gone. Like there was some kind of paranormal aspect to that monster that the film was hinting at constantly.
Why did it latch onto this kid? Like, what was how'd that start? Like, just because the kid took something from the asylum?
Probably, I don't know.
I needed more information. I wasn't.
You gotta learn to just take what the film gives you, man.
No, I can't do that sometimes. I need more
to.
information.
Nope.
Well, whatever. There'll be more Shudder movies throughout. I probably won't be watching all of them. This was not a good start for me. So,
But just because you didn't get it, sir.
no. Tell you what I did get. Moonfall.
I don't know how the fuck you like this movie. This was stupid.
I guess you just didn't get it. It's a pretty straightforward sci-fi epic. Until the end when it's like, what the fuck? But I was on board with that. What the fuck? I like the twist. I like the idea.
So you're on board for that. What the fuck? Okay. Not SLAPFACE.
Because they explained it. They gave you a reason this time. They're like, yeah, this is why.
Stupid.
All right. You're free to believe that.
This is why you don't always need 4 explanations, because this was terrible.
It made me think of that whole, David Icke Moon Matrix bullshit. And I thought it was funny that that's what they went with for this sci-fi movie. Like all the conspiracy nuts were right. I thought that was funny. Yeah.
This movie was terrible. This was clearly, Emmerich does not want to let go of the fact that no one wanted to watch Independence Day Resurgence. And he used what felt like the idea for his third film in that planned trilogy for this film. So it wasn't creative because I felt like you just repurposed the fucking script you already had. And
you can't prove that.
And it was not exciting. I don't know how you were excited because that was some of the worst large-scale destruction he's ever done on film. He has done so much better with his destruction than he did in this movie.
Yeah, I'm not saying this was his greatest work of art. I'm saying I was entertained the whole time. I liked the cast. I liked the it felt, like the stakes were high. I thought what's his name? John Bradley from
Game of Thrones? Yeah.
He stole the show. Thought he did a great job. I liked his arc.
The trio was great, but everyone outside of that trio sucks. Eyzaguirre has paper thin characters as is, but they were fucking forgettable. And in the way they did the death scenes and most of the film, he would edit it so goddamn fast that you barely had any time to register the death before we moved on to the next fucking thing. Because he was cramming so much into one goddamn movie.
The moon is hollow, and it's a spaceship arc from the original humans who came from across the galaxy to live on Earth. And this AI that they created has been hunting them down. That's fucking neat. I was
stupid.
in.
That's stupid.
Well, whatever. Sorry, it's not an anti-bullying monster witch, but I enjoy it.
Easily could have just had it to done what he does best and played up the fact that everyone has so many scientists have predicted what would happen if the moon went out of orbit for whatever reason. Just done that. A simple story that would have given us characters I cared enough about. Fucking destruction I wanted. That should have been more exciting than what he gave us. That whole flood scene in the hotel. I'm like, what the fuck was this? And Rick, this was, you did it better in Day After Tomorrow, dude.
Well, it's gradual. It's not supposed to be the Earth ends immediately. It's a gradual thing.
Yeah, but we still, even when it got to the bigger parts of it, it was still not that bad. The whole scene when people got sucked up in Colorado, it lasted for a minute and then just cut to the next scene. And I was like, all right, never mind.
The Chrysler building ended up in the fucking mountains.
Yeah, I didn't see it though. So cool.
Whatever. I thought it was creative. I enjoyed the whole alien AI thing. I thought that was cool.
It was the least creative thing he's done. He clearly was repurposing his script for Independence Day 3 into this. While still, after he sat there in an interview and said he learned his lessons from his Resurgence and wanted to do a sequel, again, and then he sets up a fucking sequel that I hope to God never fucking happens with this movie. So what he's clearly confused on what he wants, and it shows in the movie.
The man wants to make movies about aliens now. Let him do it.
No, he's becoming like Cameron. Stop focusing on one thing, Emmerich.
At least Emmerich's actually making movies about it. He's not just, promising movies. He's actually doing it.
Yeah, but I just want better movies. I want what he used to give me in like Day After Tomorrow and Independence Day. He did 2012, right? That was Emmerich.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2012, which I thought was very entertaining. Yeah, I want that. No, this was a lesser, inferior effort.
Fine. Hate it. I choose to not. I gave it an 8.
Well, I gave it a 4. So you clearly like trash because I am right.
God damn. Speaking of trash, Jackass. The little movie that could, the movie that is going to unite this country in a way that no political party or virus ever could. 85% Rotten Tomatoes score, certified fucking fresh. This is the big movie of the week. Who'd thought? Nobody. Roland Emmerich was defeated by Johnny Knoxville. Who would have ever thought that?
Roland Emmerich got beat in a movie where they put this weird fiberglass on Pontius's dick to flatten it, and it's a big joke. That's what beat this movie.
They turned his dick into a paddle ball.
Steve-O put bees on his dick. That's what beat Moonfall.
Oh my God. This is hilarious. I got nothing, I got nothing bad to say about this movie.
No, me neither. But before we talk about this one, I'm curious because we're talking about before we record, me and someone who's watched this growing up, I really like the TV show, love all the movies. You very recently, like as in I think Thursday, after we got done recording Beyond the Bed, started watching the first 3 films because you hadn't seen them, and you did at least see 2.5. I know you said you haven't seen 3.5 yet.
Yeah.
But you already watched 2.5. So I'm curious, for someone who's a lot fresher, newer to at least Jackass. I know you're not completely oblivious to what Jackass is, all that good stuff, blah, blah. But someone who's a little fresher to seeing it, what are your thoughts kind of going into like these prior films before Forever and the franchise, I guess, as a whole now?
I wasn't expecting it to be as gross as it was. That was I thought it was just stunts and people getting fucked up. I didn't realize how much shit was involved in these movies. To me, it never got grosser than part 3 when Steve-O drinks the fat guy's sweat.
Oh yeah.
I almost threw up. Yeah, just random shits. Lot of ridiculous over the top stunts. It's exactly all 4 movies are exactly the fucking same, but that's okay. They know what it is. They're not trying to be anything more than what they are. They're, a bunch of friends doing outlandish, goofy shit for your amusement and their own.
Yeah, and the most they try to do is to obviously outdo the prior film as far as like how far they go. Because seeing, when you watch it, you can see them from 1, 2, and 3. They are progressively going further and further out there.
Yeah.
And they go from like in 1, things like simply paper cutting the webbings of their feet and hands, which does look painful. Like even I was like, fuck me, dude, I can't. It's a simple thing. It's the most simple thing in the world. And I was like, I couldn't do that. That just sounds painful. But then you go to like 2, and they're like, and I remember I was telling you about it when they test the riot control gun, and like Ryan Dunn and Ben were like, fuck this, and they leave. And Knoxville has to convince them, like, come on, guys, we have to do it. Like,
I love it. He's like, come on, it's content. Like, we gotta do it. Come on. Like, it's just that's all it takes. Like, come on, man, is the only argument he's got.
Yeah. Well, they asked him when he goes like, they always consider him like the captain of the group, and he's like, they're like, how do you get them to do this? Like, you being the captain? He's like, well, it's simple. I do it too. He's like, it's not like I'm asking them to do it, then I want. He's like, no, I'm willing to do it myself.
Some of my favorite sketches, I guess, from the first 3 films. Number 3 from Jackass 3, when they put super glue on their hands and rip the chest hair off of Bam's dad and Preston.
I love when Bam was putting it on his hand and goes up to Ryan and grabs his fucking beard. And Ryan's like, "You fucking asshole."
Props to Bam's parents for getting in on this.
Yeah, they do that a lot.
I loved the first one when Bam set off fireworks in their bedroom. I was laughing so hard, and then did it like later on in their car.
I like when he like beats the shit out of his dad while he's taking a shit.
That was so out of fucking nowhere. That was great. I loved the Rocky is my favorite one.
Oh my god. Oh, did you die laughing when they got him back on the last one?
The snake pit. Oh my god.
Especially because at first it was just fake snakes and he's losing it, and they come in with a tub of real ones and fucking toss it in there. Jesus Christ.
The fucking just the it was the slow-mo that did it, the splash, and then just the Rocky theme playing as the fist starts coming. It was so great. And then nothing beat the terrorist thing at the end of 2.
Oh my god, yeah, because they fucking get Aaron good on that one.
Jesus Christ, the effort that went into that, getting Jay Changer Sekar to play like a crazy ass cab driver, just
shaving their pubes for the beard.
One of them had crabs.
I love that when Knoxville comes up. And by the way, if you really want to see like a time capsule of like time, watch the Jackass movies. Knoxville comes up with a fucking flip, a sidekick. To be like, dude, look what we just got. Like the text I got, he says, "You brought crabs to the party."
Oh my god.
I think I don't know why I like it so much, but when they brand Bam's ass with the dick in Jackass 2, and he keeps moving, and Ryan's like, "Stop fucking moving, dude!" Like, and then when they go to visit his parents, and she's like, "Why would you do that?" He's like, "Thought it would be funny."
Well, and it's like all infected, and she's like, "You need to see a doctor." I know later on he's talking like in 2.5, he's talking like, getting branded on the ass with a dick, like that's funny, like just talking about like the nature of comedy.
Yeah.
I love Steve-O's giant back tattoo of himself going like.
Oh, dude, Steve-O, it's funny because with him, man, like if you watch it, I don't know how much he looks like their personal lives, but the first 2 films, he was terribly like in the rungs of addiction, like bad.
I think most of them, you gotta get fucked up to do some of this stuff.
Yeah, well, if you notice, the first 2, there's beer all over the set.
Yeah.
But Steve-O had horrendous fucking drug issues that he finally got clean. I don't know if you noticed, he kind of sounds a little different in 3. Almost sounds like hoarse. I think it's because like he was literally like freshly clean when he did 3, and then if you notice 3, they have no beer. That was a big thing. They were like, look, we were trying to support his sobriety, so we said no beer on set for the 3rd movie.
That's that's loyalty, that's friendship right there.
Yeah, so they kept it off the set, and that's why he kind of sounds like kind of hoarse sometimes, I think, because he was like getting used to his being sober. I noticed when he did that one skit, he's like, "Hey, I'm Steve-O," and he pauses. I don't want to be Steve-O right now because Ryan Dunn's about to hit a fucking baseball into his dick. Like, but
I like the I thought this was great when Aaron gets his tooth like pulled out by a Lambo.
Yeah.
And then they tricked him into saying they could put it back.
Oh, hey, by the way, we lied. Which is, yeah, that looked painful, which was actually a redone thing. So the thing with Jackass, they will redo like skits or like ideals they once visited, they'll come back to, because originally that was supposed to be done by Bam's uncle. So after the show, they all did like different shit afterwards. Steve-O and Chris Pontius did Wild Boys, where they went to different countries and did wildlife and still did stunts.
Mm-hmm.
And Bam did Viva La Bam, where there's this stupid shit happening in his fucking fortress of a house that he has in Pennsylvania. And one of the cast members on there was his uncle, but his uncle got caught with child type of stuff.
Oh, geez.
So obviously MTV's like, you cannot fucking have him anywhere in their set. Bam and them did not argue. They were like, yep, he's dead to us. He's not going to be anywhere in their set. We're done. And they've like fucking, they shunned him essentially, like, dude, no, like, stay the fuck away from us. And I bring that up because they were supposed to do it to him. Like, originally, Bam was going to do it to him, but when that happened, they're like, fuck that. And then they let the stunt kind of die. But then when 3 came around, they're like, how about we just do it, but with someone else? And Aaron was the choice this time.
I would have done it to the uncle still, but not filmed it and just tortured the guy. Just be like, by the way, we weren't rolling, fuck you, and then leave. Yeah. Anyway, I think people who do that shit should get a lot worse than that. But yeah, I'm surprised it wasn't, since it was Bam's uncle who was supposed to do it, like, should have been Bam who took the tooth, I thought.
Bam would not have done something like that.
I like that throughout the films, you can get a sense of everybody's line. Like,
yeah.
What they're willing to do and what they are way, like, in no way willing to do.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I would argue like Steve-O, and when, before his untimely passing, Ryan Dunn were willing to do quite a fucking bit. Yeah. Compared to the rest of the guys.
I got nothing. I love that in every movie, Knoxville fucks with a bull. Every time. We'll get to it, but I love in the first one, they really want to show you fucking how long it's been in the age when they interplay his bullhead that sent to the fucking hospital. And I'll get into it, but you can kind of tell when he mentioned the brain damage, I could kind of see it when he was talking, when they had the clip of him talking after he gets out of the hospital. I'm like, he's not all right. Thank God he is all right now, but fuck. And then they interplayed it with a clip from like the first or second film. I think it was the second film. And how he just got up. He got hit, got up, fucking got out of there. It's like, boy, man, it must have been nice doing that in your 20s when you could do that. When the younger you are, the bouncier you are. Like, you just bounce back from that shit. You do that shit at 50, you get brain damage. That's just the way of life.
Yeah.
But props for still doing it. And it, like, that hit, the hit from the first one is like, oh, that looked a little painful. The hit in Forever, he does a 360 fucking flip in the air, lands on his fucking head. Like, that's Jesus Christ, man.
It looked bad. I was like, fuck.
He broke a wrist. He broke a rib. He was unconscious for like 4 minutes. Massive concussion. Jesus.
You find out later his brain hemorrhage. Like, fuck.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah. It also did like, and this isn't necessarily the stunts with like the first 2, but like I always like that they play more stunts throughout the credits. Like shit they just didn't really worry about playing in the film. Which I did, by the way, love the marketing for this one. The fact that half of the stunts they showed in the marketing were fucking credit stunts in the new movie. I was like, fuck yeah, that's how you do it. Saves the good shit for the movie. But it's a little thing, but in the third one, when that Little Gore fucking nut checks one of the guys and you hear Knoxville, that's my going. I'm like, oh my fucking God. No.
Oh geez. All right.
I do like it's a small thing, but I like when in the third film when they're doing the credits and they do the 10-year thing, because at the time they filmed it, they weren't sure about how much they were willing to come back for a new one. Mm-hmm. And it especially in the case of what has unfortunately happened with Ryan Dunn and with Bam Margera getting fired and currently filing a lawsuit against them and had an ongoing thing. It's a nice time capsule, a real nice moment that shows like their friendship. Because again, I think that's what's really important with this is that, and I've told you a lot, what to me makes this so special, Jackass, is that it's friends having a good time and we're invited to watch.
Yeah.
And we're invited to partake in it. And getting that 10-year thing they did at the end of the third one where they're showing like they're playing the song and they're showing when they were younger to where they were at that point was just a nice little like touching thing to do.
I agree. It was cool. And I like how the fourth one opened with Steve-O talking about how like, the last one was 10 years and now we are 10 years later from that. And like, he seems nervous.
Yeah, and I think that's also what makes this one like really special for people is that they're not sitting there trying to hide their age at all. They're from the trailers, they were very open about it to the interviews and to the movie. They're very open about the fact that, yeah, we're in our 50s fucking doing this. Like I said, Steve-O immediately, they opened it with Steve-O saying that, and the fact that, I think he was even saying, like, I did not expect to be doing this for like 20 years, but here we are. And yeah, you mentioned their nervousness. Like you compared to the first 3 films in the show, the lead up for the OGs, as I'm gonna call them, because they got the new cast members here too. You notice it takes them a lot longer. There's a lot more like anxiousness in what they're doing compared to the original set of films and show.
Yeah. Yeah. 2 more I want to spotlight from 3, and then we'll get into the 4th one. There was, I think it was Preston taking a field goal to the face. That looked insanely painful from a professional football player.
Which I don't think it was supposed to hit there too. That was an accident.
Got him right in the fucking chin.
Yeah.
And then the other one was the taser hallway.
Oh my God, that looks so painful.
I like how they're just being like, just kept screaming.
I like how they're just looking at it, and Bam's just like, fuck it, I'll just go. And he just goes for it. And Knoxville just standing there, just watching it happen. It was a little one from 2, but when, and they did it something like this in 3 also, but when they were in the hotel hallway and they were reading the note, the fake note from that fan, and Knoxville was punching them in the face. They're like, hey, get Weeman, get the show out. And then Knoxville turns around in the opening of 3 and has a fucking high five hand, and he's hitting the guys with it.
I love it. He got, I think it was Aaron to get fucking soup.
Yeah.
Like he didn't see that coming.
Yeah. And everyone's like, I love how everyone, you can hear him be like, he's not going to do it. Soup? Really? Like you can tell even though like, that's ridiculous. Why would you do this? And then they seem to like, oh shit, he's going to do it.
There's no such thing as too low for these guys.
No. You know what? And, oh God, now that we're talking about like, I'm sure another quick, like it was a funny moment, but when it was a quick moment, I meant to say, but when Weeman just walks through, I guess like the crew meeting, butt naked, just gets on the table, walks, waves, and keeps going. And I'm assuming it was the crew because they're dying laughing. I was like, what the fuck just happened?
I love the recurring one from the first one of Knoxville just attacking people randomly with a razor and like shaving bits of their head, and the Psycho theme playing, just like and being super pissed.
And what I love with like those and the Weeman thing, or I think it was in the 3rd one when Bam keeps pissing on people with the GoPro, is that it shows you that it's not just the cast that isn't safe in these films, it's the fucking crew. Like if you're working on a Jackass film, like watch your back. They were willing to go after anyone. And you even see it in the .5 movies when they go after like people you don't even fucking ever think about. They're just like, yeah, we just want to have fun with everybody.
I love randomly, I don't remember which one it was in, but Knoxville like launches a volleyball at somebody coming out of the bathroom. Like with a fucking catapult, just bam, right in the face. Just doing shit. Working on this movie has got to be stressful as hell.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think it was Steve-O that came out of there. Like he just took a shit or something.
Oh, I'm looking at it. That was in 4.
Yeah, it was in 4. That was funny though.
Goddamn.
Yeah, it has to be. I think it's in 3.5. You'll get a kick. They have a whole this compilation moment of like Knoxville hitting people in the nuts in various like over the top, just traumatic ways.
Oh my God.
Like, yeah, because apparently he just loves doing it. He can't get enough.
Before we go further, I had to say this. I looked up the budget for Moonfall and it's $146 million. It made 19.5.
Ah, yes, no sequel.
Okay. With that, let's go through the
Emmerich, instead of making your comments, Emmerich, work on a better fucking movie.
Let's go through the Thankfully, the Wikipedia has a complete list of all the stunts in this movie. I fucking love that they did that. So
Yeah,
we can.
whoever saw this multiple times a weekend, because this is all like user made on Wikipedia. So whoever saw this like all weekend, like each day of the weekend, thank you for doing this.
Yeah, for sure. Way to go. You're the real hero. We open with Dickzilla.
I love the reveal when they have like the big like, because Jackass, if you saw, since you've seen all of them, they always do something like over the top for their opening.
Yeah.
And I would say this is the most cinematic they've ever done. But when they reveal it's Chris Pontius and he's like sitting there adjusting his dick for the camera. God damn it.
It's painted green. It's taken up. It's fine, and then in the city you just see, people get like blasted off buildings, and somebody, I think Aaron, gets like hurled into a fruit cart by a football player. Steve-O ends up in a porta-john full of shit.
Yeah, that's a throwback to his cocktail supreme, as they called it.
Jesus.
That it's still, God, every time I watch that part in I think it was 2 that they did that one in. And yeah, they just launch him into the fucking air. And I'm like, and then the camera shows it. I'm just like, oh
God. Yeah. There's a lot of gross out moments in these movies.
Hey, it's what makes them stand out. They're willing to go there.
That's true. So yeah, we open with like everyone, Knoxville and a bunch of army men get cummed on by the Dickzilla.
And Tony Hawk.
And Tony Hawk, yeah.
That was Tony Hawk.
Tony Hawk and Spike Jonze, who just keep popping up in the shit. I will never understand that. Academy Award-winning screenwriter Spike Jonze.
Look, Tony Hawk has like the best Twitter. I can see why he's in these movies. He clearly has fun in life.
Yeah, he keeps getting almost recognized, and it's hilarious.
I love his Twitter so much.
One of my favorites, just a quick side note of his Twitter, he was at a place getting his car done or something, and like he put the name Tony Hawk into his thing because he's Tony Hawk, and he was waiting for like an hour, and he went up to them and like, hey, is my number going to be called soon? He's like, what's your name? He's like, Tony Hawk. He's like, oh, I deleted that. I thought it was a fake name. Like, you're really Tony Hawk? He must deal with that every day.
It's so weird because you don't hear about that with celebrities. Usually it's like, oh, we rushed to get your car done. It's, oh no, you're not Tony Hawk. We're deleting this shit.
Yeah, there's no way.
Isn't he dead? Like, I feel like that's what it is with people. Like, Jesus Christ, guys. Know who Tony Hawk is, people.
Yeah. Show some respect.
Greatest skateboarder of all time, you fucks.
So first
he got come on in Jackass Forever.
Yes, he did.
I want to know how they fucking got so much cum for that scene. Jesus
It
Christ.
probably wasn't real cum. I mean, Knoxville would, but the rest of those guys were extras. I doubt they would do that.
This is true too.
Tony Hawk is not going to take a giant load to the face like that.
You don't know. Tony Hawk might be down for the sake of art.
For the sake of art. Oh my God. Oh, yeah. So there it is. That's our opener. First stunt, human ramp. And this is where we get to meet some of the new people. Bunch of they pile onto Knoxville and they ride bikes over the ramp and slam onto Knoxville and a couple other people.
That one skateboarder I got scared for a second when I saw his leg hit the ramp. I was like, fuck.
He ate shit.
Yeah,
was crazy.
Which I do love that as much as these guys don't mind hurting themselves, if you ever notice, they are the best when it comes to their people. They're like, as soon as someone who isn't like part of their crew gets hurt, they are so quick to be like, dude, are you fucking okay?
Yeah.
Like, because they're like, we're insured. Like, we'll be taken to the hospital. Like, are you fine? Like, holy fuck.
Yeah. I like the response time because like at first they'll like hover around if someone's not moving for a second, they'll be like, I'll hover around and wait, like, what's our reaction supposed to be? And then when they get up, they're like, woo.
Yeah. No, they're, to their credit, they're very good where it's themselves or someone that's not part of the crew about being like, are you like good? they get serious her, like, someone's not getting up.
Yeah. That stunt ends with Zach, the new fat guy, riding a moped on the ramp and just crashing right into the fucking ground.
Yeah, which is when actually does lead to another moment that we were just talking about where they all get up and Preston's not getting up. And you kind of see him be like, Preston, are you okay? Like, and they're like, you see him crowd around him, and finally he moves. They're like, oh, thank God. Like, he's like, yeah, I'm okay.
Then there's Dum Dum Games.
This was one of my favorites. This was so goddamn funny. I love when Knoxville accidentally hits the button to fuck with them.
Before he's even introduced it, he hits a button. Aaron takes a
Poopies
paddle to the
took
ball.
The first one. Poopies took the first one.
Oh, yeah, that's a new guy. Poopies.
He was one of my favorites, actually. I really liked him. That dude was down to do fucking anything.
I love that it's just like the paddle is a fucking flip flop. That made me laugh more than anything. $10 million budget, and they've got a flip flop taped to a stick.
That was so good. And what I love is that even when the questions are like a fourth grade level, and Poopies gets asked that math question that even I didn't fucking know, I was like, what? Oh no, I knew it. But I was like, but Poopy says the wrong answer. And Knox was like, God damn it. And it's the button. And then I love when he asked Aaron how to spell dumbbell. And Aaron's like, oh, D-U-M-B. You're like, oh shit, Aaron, no. I love the camera. You see Knoxville's fingers starting to go slowly towards the button, like the glee in his eye to see that he gets to hit the button.
Yeah, that was great. They all just take it right to the balls.
Yeah, I like when Poopies or Aaron won, so Poopies didn't gets hit right, but then he still hits Aaron with it.
Yeah, he's like, he hits the wrong guy and he's like, you still lost though. And it's the other guy. Jesus. Then there was surprise soccer ball when Knoxville launches a soccer ball at Steve-O's head when he leaves his trailer.
I love how he even tells the guy, one of the assistants, hey, get him out of here. Come on, get him out of here. Like,
I love Knoxville just waiting patiently at the machine with the ball, just like a grin, just like waiting for the moment. And then
yeah, that's what's beautiful. Like, they are like, late, some of them are just late 40s, but Knoxville is like 50. Like that, it's a known fact he's 50. And yet he is sitting there during these stunts with the biggest glee in his eye, like he's still in his fucking 20s. Like, so ready to do what needs to be done. Like, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Then there was this one was so funny. I love misdirection shit. Silence of the Lambs. When they they bring out this animal trainer, introduce this venomous rattlesnake, tell everybody how dangerous it is, and then they think they're going to be in there to, like they say Knoxville's going to try to take a cookie off the rattlesnake's head. And in reality, he traps the guys in there, turns off the lights, and makes them think the snake is loose in the room.
What I love is that he tells the audience first. So we know. So again, that whole idea of like friends having fun, we're invited into that fun. We're invited into the secret. He's like, all right, so this is what we're actually going to do, but this is what they think we're doing. And so you're just waiting for the moment when it just like goes the way he just told us.
They switch out the barrel. The rattlesnake is taken away. They knock over a fake barrel with a fake snake and a rattler noise. And everyone is like, fuck. Everyone's terrified that there's a rattlesnake loose in this room that can kill them.
I love as the doors are closing, the lights are turned off, they linger on them, and you can hear them be like, fuck, I should have known.
I love when they open the escape door and there's just a frying pan hanging down and they just whack right into it.
Dude, Aaron, I get why Knoxville is fucking him, because like I said, he does get the best footage. When him and Dave were trapped together and he gets like fucking prodded with the cattle prod. Aaron's like, dude, Dave, come on, I found the exit. Like, fuck this, let's get out. And Dave's like, no, man, I'm staying. I'm not leaving. And Aaron just runs out and gets hit with the fucking frying pan. Him and then Zach. When Zach went over the fucking table of mouse traps because he thought it was the only escape that had thumbtacks. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
That guy is down.
Yeah, and then I did like England's reaction when Knoxville, they finally turned the lights on, and Knoxville's like, dude, Dave, he's like, Dave, go on the exits right there. And Dave's like, nope, I'm living in here now.
Oh man.
Because Dave Smart is like, I know what's fucking over on that door. I'm not going through it. Open the door.
That is followed by body surfing, where they lube up Zach, and Jasper tries to surf him down, immediately falls off and rolls down the ramp.
You think they have, and what I love, I remember watching this and it's for a different stunt that we'll talk about when we get to it, but on ridiculousness, I'll watch occasionally and something happen on the background, right? And obviously the week leading up to this film, they had the Jackass members come on to the show, and Knoxville was on there, and they mentioned one stunt where they had put the pads down for the test, and Knoxville's like goes up to like whoever put it, he's like, take that shit out of there. Like, wait, what? He goes, this is Jackass. Get the pads out of here. Like, we don't do that. And so if you think the end of this ramp has a fucking padding, no, it's hard desert fucking dirt. Like,
yeah,
and it looks painful when they land.
It does. Funny shit.
Yeah, I like when Poopy's like hit his head. I think it was Poopy's like he hit his head on one of the sandbags before he even made it down the ramp.
Yeah. I remember that. B genitals. So yeah.
This is where when Knoxville told my buddy those miles of cock in this movie. This is when it begins. Because you get, well, technically the opening, but this is when you get an unfiltered, up close personal look at Steve-O's dick.
Yep. And it gets covered in bees. They put the queen bee onto his dick, and the bees just create a new hive on his dick and balls. And he is screaming. He's like moving it around. Like, Jesus Christ. And he took some deep stings to the balls.
Those screams, like, I know he was doing it to try to like relieve stress, but some of those I'm like, I think he's actually getting stung. I love like Wee Man and Knoxville have the bee things on so they don't get stung.
Yeah, nobody else fucking does though. And they keep getting secondhand stung.
Yeah. Well, and what I love is, okay, now that you've seen on them, right? And you mentioned it when you were texting me, the beehive ball, I think it was in 3 or 2.
Yeah.
Remember Dave is freaking out afterwards, like he won't stop. And they're like, Dave, you need to calm down. And Steve was like, see, what Dave doesn't realize is that the more he freaks out, the more they're willing to sting. Idiot. And yeah. What I love is that in this one, Poopies is the one freaking out. You see him like flicking it. Dave's just standing there. Like he learned his lesson. He's like, just stand here, dude. You won't get stung.
Oh, that was followed by one of my favorites, musical chair bags.
Which is actually the one that Rob Dyrdek is in also.
Wee Man, skater Nick Merlino, Jasper, and Dave run around in a game of musical chairs while Rachel Wolfson, one of the new guys, is the DJ. And one of these chairs, they're told, has an airbag in it, and they will get fucking launched. And they do it 3 times. Knoxville keeps fucking with them. And then on the third go, he launches all 4 of them into the air.
Yeah. Yeah. I love first off how Knoxville tells them, oh, it's only 1. And then he fucks with them constantly. Like they'll end. And I love the pause he does as they're saying that. He's like, and let's go again. And then finally he's like, and one more time. And like you can just see, and I love like he's like, Weeman looks pissed. Like you can just tell they're like, just fucking do it. And yeah, I love when they finally sit down and instead of 1, he lied to them. All 4 of them had it in there. But Weeman
gets launched like into the 10 feet into the air and lands on the metal pipes in the middle of the chairs.
I love Knoxville. Are we supposed to have these padded down?
It reminded me of the finale to 3. I think it was the finale to 3 where like everything's just blowing up and people are like flipping around. You just see Wee Man launch into the air off screen, and you don't see him again for a few minutes.
Yeah, Reman get fucking launched. I love how they are immediately like, dude, Reman, what the fuck? Like, yeah, and again, I guess it should have been padded, but $10 million budget, the best they could do was throw a $5 rug over it.
He went right into the hole like it was a hole in one in fucking mini golf. It was great.
With his head. Their head takes so much damage in this series.
Oh man. He landed in the worst possible spot, a bag of metal bars.
He really did. I'm trying to take a drink, but it's like when I went to see this in theaters, I couldn't eat my popcorn because I was laughing so fucking hard.
Oh, all right. Then there's the flight of Icarus. We saw this in the trailer. Knoxville puts on some wings, gets launched out of a giant fucking cannon over a lake.
This was pretty awesome. The landing, yeah, the landing looked painful as fuck. Like it looked like he went just high enough for that water hit to be a little painful.
You could hear it in the smack.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I think even the audience I saw it with, we all just went, oh, as soon as he hit the water and you heard the smack. I do like Chris Pontius's narration. Kid Icarus, and he's all dressed up for it, and then he's like, if you think we're wearing anything under here, you're wrong. And then I was like, well, I'm actually wearing.
Oh man. The Quiet Game. Rachel, Poopies, and Steve-O are dressed as mimes, and they have to do stunts without reacting to them, and the loser loses.
Yeah. It's just you just lose.
Yeah. Rachel licks a fucking taser
several times
and doesn't make a sound. She's a trooper.
Look, before we go further, I have to say, like, one of the things I'm sure some people were worried about was like, or curious on, was this new cast, right? Because this is the first one with a new cast, and definitely Dido being presented that if they are to do another Jackass film, that it would be just this new cast at this point. It would no longer be the original team. Like, this was it for them, right?
Yeah.
I gotta say, based off this film, I'm willing to follow this new cast through if they do another film. I really liked a lot of these new people a lot. I really did.
The question is who becomes like the captain?
That is the question, because I mean, obviously, since they're trying to I think they talk about certain times where they're trying to, they're going through their licks. They got to prove themselves. You don't really see a captain right now. I got the feeling maybe Poopies has some potential there.
I don't want to follow a guy named Poopies.
It's only right in the world of Jackass.
I honestly think she should be the captain.
I would be down for Rachel Wolfson being the captain. She was a fucking. I think both her and Poopies were the most trooper of them all, and Zach. Like those three, really, like they were willing to go for it with anything, and did it. And yeah, she in this stunt, kind of going back to this stunt, unless you get, we want to talk about Newcastle more. She fucking took that taser like a champ. And I remember watching fucking, I think it was 3 when Steve-O licks the fucking electrified pole.
Yeah.
And he made a noise. He was like fucking, you could tell he didn't like it. But she just did it once, then did it like 2 or 3 more times. I'm like, dear God.
And didn't say a word.
Yeah.
Then Poopies has to kiss a rat snake.
Which I love when Knoxville's like, is this venomous? And Jules just,
Jesus. And he takes 2 bites to the face. Doesn't say a word.
Doesn't. And then I love when Knoxville apparently just carries a taser on him for fun. And feels the need. I love when after that he's like, I have to save you. And he starts tasing him. But then he runs after Jeff. He's the director for like all these films. He starts tasing him, and I love when Chef's like, I had one in my pocket, I was trying to get it out.
Oh boy. Then we got Steve-O who does the skateboard guillotine, and Jesus, did that look painful.
I like the quick little yell and him being like, I've got to be fucking silent.
Well, I love when they raise it up and Steve-O just goes like, arrows up. Knoxville's like, up? Okay. And puts it all the way up. and they drop this skateboard on Steve-O's ankles, and he immediately is like, ah, and he's like, I forgot.
But I love that he was like, no, all the way, because again, it kind of speaks to the fact that like, not like, you know, in that moment, them being like, no, man, we've done this before. We got the new blood here. I got to show them what's up. Like, raise that shit all the way up. We're not going half-assed on this.
All right, after that, Knoxville puts on the bad grandpa costume, goes furniture shopping.
I was dying on this one.
He's got, you know, he's supposed to be an old man testing out like a beanbag chair. Zach is working on a cherry picker, falls off, launches Knoxville into the fucking ceiling. And everyone who works in it is like, what the fuck? Oh, boy.
Oh, that was good. I was dying. I always love when they do things like that to the unsuspecting, because they don't do it as much as the films went on. I felt like they did it more in the early run during the show in the first movie, and then as it went on, it became more about let's just fuck with each other.
Yeah.
But when they do these ones where they do the unsuspecting public thing, I get why they don't do it as much, because a lot of shows do that now. Like a lot of the things that have taken up after Jackass, that's what they do. So Jackass was like, let's just do stuff to ourselves more. And again, to stay different. When we do it, it's usually really fucking funny. Like it's always like really funny.
Yeah. There was this one, I don't remember which one it was in, where Preston's chasing after Wee Man. He turns a corner, and like then Preston's being chased by an army of dwarves.
Yeah. I think one of my favorites was the dwarf fight in the bar.
God, that was, which one was that?
Police and ambulance. It was 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just escalates, and everyone's like, what the fuck is going on?
I died when the dwarf cop showed up. And everyone's just like, is this happening right now?
That, or when like Preston had the guy watch his dog, and he goes inside, and Wee Man comes out, like, hey, thanks, bro, and takes the dog and leaves. I love how like you can tell those two are really good friends.
Yeah. Oh, that was funny. Next, Zach tries to glide down a hill, launches himself right into a fucking cactus. Ouch.
I like the song Chris Pontius was doing for him before that. We've done this now, and now it's your turn.
Jackass.
Jackass. And yeah, he just fucking launches off that ramp into the cactus. I was just like, oh, that looks so painful. You remember me when Ryan Dunn did it? I think in the third one, when he went off a bike and just fucking plowed into the cactus.
Yeah. Ouch. Goddamn. The cup test.
Oh god.
Maybe the gem of the movie.
Yes. Which, by the way, like, I don't know about your audience, but mine, after like when it kept going, the laughter got bigger, because it was just like, oh my god, we're still doing this.
Aaron puts a cup on his crotch, has to undergo some tests to test the durability of the cup. First off, Knoxville brings in heavyweight MMA fighter Francis Ngannou, who is known for having the hardest punch ever recorded.
Which they had told Aaron it was a lightweight.
I love when he walks out like, it's not a fucking lightweight. And this dude punches so hard, his punch is the equivalent of basically getting hit by a Honda.
Oh yeah, I love how Steve-O, as the punch is literally about to happen, Steve-O is looking it up and reading it out loud to Aaron to freak him out more.
I love that even like the Francis, the MMA guy, is like, you don't have to read that right now. And he just knocks him right in the balls. And oh wow, no cup is gonna save you from that one.
Look, you know, as we're men here, you know a hit to the balls is painful when you see someone yell without making a sound. Like, you know, usually if you're just the average one, you cup and you go down, you're kind of laughing, you're kind of going, you know, you're making noises. Not that one. He like, his mouth was opening to scream, but no sound came out, and he just, you see him like roping for a fucking chair or something as he's just falling down. you knew that shit was painful.
And that's not even as hardcore as it gets with this cup test. Next, The punch, by the way, cracked the cup.
Yeah.
Then professional softball player Danielle O'Toole hurls a softball right at his balls. And she's known for having a super fast pitch.
Yeah. And I love how he keeps moving. And even she's like, stop moving if you want this to be over.
Oh, then hockey player PK Subban, who is super excited to do this. It's a
I'm
hockey
coming
puck.
for you, Aaron.
Yeah. I love the Aaron's in a full hockey uniform, except for the crotch, which has been ripped out of the uniform.
And his ass, his bare ass is out.
He takes a hockey puck to the balls, and then I don't even like talking about it. Aaron lays down one of the guys, jumps on his balls with a pogo stick.
It was Dave.
Dave
on the pogo stick.
On the pogo stick, and that's the last straw for Aaron's nuts because they start bleeding because he ruptured a fucking testicle doing this.
I like how like you see it happen, and even Dave, you can tell in that moment, like, he's looking at him like, dude, are you okay? Like, I think he saw it. Like, dude, are you okay? And then you hear Riemann, because everyone's laughing, obviously, and you hear Riemann be like, guys, he's bleeding. Aaron's bleeding. and then Aaron shows it to the camera because in Jackass, you're going to see Dick. If you are unfamiliar with this franchise, you're going to see Dick from the main cast members. The only one you won't see is Knoxville. He's the only one that ever bears it, which could be why he has an actual like respectable movie career. I don't know. Theories.
Well, his dick probably looks all Frankensteined up after he broke it.
Well, I mean, he claims it works. Like he said, he had 2 daughters afterwards. So
I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm just saying it probably doesn't look, pristine at this point.
It's not a pristine dick. But yeah, Aaron
function
shows,
only.
Yeah, Aaron shows his balls, and when he showed that, I was like, oh god. And then they show it in slow motion, and you see the pogo stick get stuck on the sack as it goes down. Oh,
I love the cameraman Lance starts throwing up in his mask.
Oh yeah, I love how like, and then you can hear them being like, Lance, take your mask off. And dude, I love how Knoxville, anytime Lance about the Lance, give me your camera. Lance, hand me the camera.
Steve-O enters a porta-john, which explodes.
I love the build-up with that, which remains like, I've really been hitting the guys hard this week, but if they trust us to use the bathroom, they are less intelligent than I thought. And I love how when Steve-O goes in there, it stays on everyone else, and they're talking about Cobra fucking Kai. Like, but you can see Knoxville, who's clued into what just is going on right now, walk over, and you kind of see him all turn around, like waiting for it, and then just the
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that was great. The underwater fart fire. The holy grail of Knoxville's Jackass tenure. He has always wanted to light a fart underwater. Some people have unattainable goals. Johnny Knoxville is not one of those guys.
Respected actor. I need to point this out. He's been in legit movies. He has a respectable career, and yet his goal in life has been to light a fart underwater in Jackass. He's also in his 50s.
I would just side note, I would love it if like 10 years from now, or even 5 years from now, Johnny Knoxville is chosen to be like the lead in Martin Scorsese's new picture or something, and he does like a full-blown dramatic performance and fucking like wins an Oscar and like goes up there and is just like, y'all didn't think I could do it, but here I am. Like all the Jackass dudes are in the front row like cheering him on. That would be the fucking best.
Find a way to pull a stunt at the Oscars.
He fucking dives off the stage, knocks over Meryl Streep.
That's what kills me though, is that like you can't deny that these guys have legit clout, and because Bruce fucking Dern called to be in the movie, and the only reason he wasn't was because they were done filming.
I love that Bruce Dern's like, I want to be there. He was probably like, I bet if they had him in it, he would have done the Rip Taylor part at the end.
Yeah, he probably would have.
Where did that come from, by the way? Why did Rip Taylor
I don't
show up
know.
at the end of every movie?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's so amazing that this franchise attracts talent. And there's like, and they had a premiere for this movie. So they didn't show it, people, but let's just be honest. If you had a premiere in Hollywood, that means guess who went to this? Some respected actors went to this fucking premiere. Like, it's amazing that something like Jackass has like the respect it has. And I feel like it's only kind of gained in a weird sort of way, like the absence makes the heart grow fonder since the third film, that to the point where now we're at with the reception on this one.
Well, I love they showed like past exploits of trying to light this fart, and they showed Dave shitting in a bathtub. And they get one of the Mythbusters guys, Tori from Mythbusters, to kind of facilitate this. And they use this mechanism and they pull it off. They light a fart using a spark underwater.
They were so happy about it too.
The next one is really funny. Bicycle backhand. Steve-O and Machine Gun Kelly ride exercise bikes with giant foam hands that will smack the other guy. And I love Knoxville fucks up and knocks Steve-O off the bike right at the beginning.
I like how you hear, hey, we got to move it up a little bit. And all of a sudden, it's Steve-O.
Yeah. And Machine Gun Kelly's a trooper. He takes this foam hand right to the fucking face and flies back into the pool.
Yeah, I love that. I know it's in the trailer, but it's not like, you said it wouldn't feel like anything.
I love where Steve-O's like, you may be more talented than me and more handsome and richer, but motherfucker, I can ride. That was awesome.
That was great. Yeah, that was a good stunt. That was funny as shit. Especially because, like, I personally don't like Machine Gun Kelly. I think the guy's kind of a bit of a douchebag based off his comments.
Same.
Because for anyone who doesn't know, he had his fucking thing with Eminem. Now he does rock and he's trying to attack Corey Taylor. Like, literally the guy who front Slipknot and Stone Sour, for Christ's sakes. Jesus Christ. Yeah, he went from one big person in rap to now literally the first big person you could find in fucking metal. I don't know why.
I think it's weird that he gave Megan Fox an engagement ring that will hurt if she takes it off.
Yeah, well, have you read the whole thing when she was like, he popped up in front of me and said, I am weed, and disappeared. And I'm like, that's why you two are perfect for each other. You're both fucking idiots. Jesus. So I won't lie, it was super satisfying to see, like, after the malfunction, knocking Steve-O, which that was really funny, knocking Steve-O off, like, Machine Gun Kelly get fucking smacked into that goddamn pool. I was like, oh, thank you.
Only thing would have been more satisfying if there was no pool, if it was just like a dirt pit or something.
Yes, but I think because of Machine Gun Kelly, they don't. Because if you notice, they try to be a little bit safer when they have celebrity guests on there.
I 100% wouldn't. If I was running this stable, if you want to come hang with the big boys, you better fucking hang.
That's true. Yeah, because if it was just them, there would have been no pool. I've been like, look, you're going to get slapped onto the goddamn ground.
Like if Bruce Stern wanted to play, I would have, hurled his ass into a cactus. Like, he's here to play, or he's not here.
And Rob Dyrdek fly off the fucking chair.
Oh man. Have Tony Hawk have to be the guy who farts into the underwater jar. Force him to do it.
I don't think he's willing to do that.
That's why you make them sign a contract where they can't say no.
Tony Hawk, I think they're nice too, because he just keeps popping up in the fucking movies.
I know that. I love that though. I love Spike Jonze' whole bit as like the weird old lady in part 3. Like, this is a guy who won an Oscar for a screenplay for, I think, Her, and here he is just being a fucking weirdo with the Jackass crew. Like an honorary member of the team. Oh, okay. Then we have the spider helmet where we meet Jasper's dad, Dark Shark, who just was so goddamn funny.
Oh, he cracked me up. Like, just because he was so not game for anything, but they made him do it, and his reactions were the best. They really were.
Well, they put like a connecting helmet tube on him and I think it was Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron goes through a lot of shit in this movie.
Yeah, they put a super giant, big fanged tarantula in the tube, and they have to blow the spider into the other guy's helmet. And I love that it crawls into Dark Shark's helmet, and they still Aaron still has to take the bite.
Yeah. We should point out when the loser gets bit, right? Also, Dark Shark they prep it by saying he's terrified of insects. Like kind of like man was terrified of snakes, he's terrified of insects. So it goes in there, and I love his reaction of like he's gripping all these guys. He like rips himself out of the chair. And he's like ripping Knox's shirt. Knox was like, "Why are you gripping me right now?" And they have to calm him down. Be like, "Okay, we'll take it out. We'll take it out." Look, and you can hear Knox like, "I'm going to take the spider out. Calm down."
And then Aaron's like, "Why is like he's like he clearly lost." He's trying to argue it.
Yeah.
I love that he's like, just have it bite me on the arm, and they're like, "Nipple sound good? What's the nipple?"
Yeah. I love how they're like, "Where do you want him to bite?" And Aaron's like, "The arm. I'm fine with the arm." They're like, "Nipple," and then he's like, "Well, not the nipple. Can we do the boob?" And he's like, "Yeah, I can do the boob." I love Steve like, "Oh no, nipple's not fine, but the boob's okay."
Oh, the close up of that bite. Ooh, those are some deep fangs.
Showing the fangs before that, and then like I was like, "Oh god." And yeah, it got him good. I like how they kept throwing fake insects at him to freak him out after that. Like,
oh boy. Dirty Dancing. They try to do the like Wee Man tries to lift Preston, but before they can do that, Preston fucking shits the bodysuit.
That was so funny. Because I was already down to see Preston completely slam onto Wee Man. But then when he did that part and you just see Preston go, "Oh no, I shit my," and his genuine reaction to that was fucking hilarious. Because it wasn't like he meant to do that. It's just, "Hey, look, man, it doesn't matter how old you are, right? I know some people are like, oh, old man shit himself." Sometimes as you get older, you do a fart. You gotta check, because sometimes it gets dangerous depending on what you ate that day. And apparently it was not good for Preston that day.
I think they're all just fucking terrified to go to the bathroom. I think that's what it is.
I think after the blue dye in the third one, which that shit was so good. I love when Aaron just walks in there and you just hear the explosion and he walks out covered in blue and you just see him just like, "What the fuck?"
See, that shit happens all day. You're gonna get a little paranoid about going to the bathroom. You hold it in too long. I love that Knoxville's like, technically you shit our pants. Because that's our bodysuit. And they just left us. They didn't do the stunt. It got all fucked up.
No, I love how they just don't do the stunt. Lance is about to throw up again, and you just see Preston walk off, which I give him credit for the editing in the trailer because they don't show the stain in the trailer, but you see him walk off with the shit stain. And Weeman just kind of pat him on the back like, "It's okay, dude. It's okay."
At this age, I feel like dive bombing Wee Man would have killed him. So that's probably for the best. Front yard sale toilet. Another throwback to the first film. Dave, there's a toilet in the yard sale, which already you're like, why? who's buying a toilet in the yard sale? But Dave just goes to take a shit in it, and the toilet explodes, launches him 6 feet in the air.
They rigged it without telling him to explode.
Oh my god, that was so fucking gross though in the first one when he just takes a shit in the hardware store and they're like, "Are you taking a shit?"
Yeah.
They're so flabbergasted.
Because Dave can shit on command. That's like his thing. He can just shit. Yeah, I love how in this one they flip it. They don't tell him that they're going to explode it, so he just fucking launches into the damn air.
Oh, they're all like, "What?" Like the people running the yard sale are like, "What happened? What were you? Why were you doing that in the first place?"
I like how they assume he's on something. Like, "Did you take?" He's like, "No, I didn't take anything."
This was funny. Knoxville pretends to be an electrician, asks a nearby woman for help in moving the cherry picker, but every lever she touches fucks up the thing, and he ends up hanging from the basket. And he's like, help me. And she's like, I don't know how. I can't help you.
Yeah, and she electrocutes it.
Oh, he's like, what lever? He's like, well, not the ones you've been doing, because that's not helping.
Yeah. I like how he's like berating her. She's
Oh, that was funny. The marching band, the one segment that has Bam in it.
Yeah, despite the current lawsuit he filed against them, which again really does speak to like Knoxville and like the level of friendship. Like this is a guy that like he'll do anything for his friends, even in the case of a lawsuit.
Yeah, I agree. But in this scene, I mean, they get fucked up like severely. I was not expecting that level of fucked up. They get on the marching, like they're in the marching band attire. They step on the treadmill and they just are flung into the fucking wall. Knoxville's bleeding from his head. Steve-O gets knocked out, trombone to the face. And then like he's a fucking neck brace.
Well, I love how you don't even like notice it. Like you don't even notice like Bam at first. So if you pay attention, you hear his voice being like, yo, Steve-O, because Steve-O's not moving.
Yeah.
And then you can be like, hey guys, something's wrong with Steve-O. And then they do the replay. And then if you look, then you can see him when they do the replay, and so you can actually see Bam for a quick second. But yeah, it's like it's definitely like it's a blink and you miss it cameo essentially. But yeah, again, you talk about that response time, like they have their quick fun moment, and then they quickly assess like, oh shit, Knoxville's bleeding and Steve-O's not moving. Like
of all the shit they go through in this movie, I would not have thought stepping on a fast treadmill would be the one that almost, really fucks them up.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Cold brew.
Oh, wait, I did like on this one, it was in the trailer, but when Steve has a neck brace on in Knoxville, he still got those $1 million teeth, right? And Steve-O immediately takes out his one fake tooth. So like, nope, those are going to.
He pukes that up later on in the movie.
Yeah, he does.
Oh. So they get a little prank on Eric Andre, who's there just because he's a fan. He goes to the catering trailer, orders a cold brew.
I would argue he does the most like closest to Jackass stuff with his material.
Yeah, did you see Bad Trip?
Yeah, I did. It was fucking funny.
That's funny as hell. When he gets like raped by the gorilla.
Oh my god, that one was great, and I was dying on the blender when he put his hand in there, fucking massacred it.
Oh my god, yeah. Funny shit. So the lady in the little booth asks for a photo, and she gives him his drink, and a fucking airbag pops out, knocks Eric Andre on his ass.
I love the comment he makes too before he gets. He's like, "It's Jackass. It's not rocket science, guys." Like, and then that happens. I'm like, "Yeah, see." And I love Knoxville. What did you guys do to Eric?
Oh, I loved in the credits, like bonus stuff, when he goes like, "Now give him a real drink," and he goes back and he takes another one to the legs.
Fucking poopies, yeah. Can you make him a real one, Stephanie? Yeah, sure. So I love how like not only will they fuck with people, they will get other people in on the fun with them. Like whoever that lady was, like they clearly talked to her like, "Hey, look, we want to do this thing, and you're going to be the mastermind behind it." And she's like, "Yeah, sure."
It's great. Scorpion Botox. This was impressive. Rachel takes a scorpion sting to the lips. 3 deep scorpion stings.
Yeah, by Dr. Pontius making his return.
Trust me, I'm a doctor.
Yeah. This is the first time I've actually ever performed this procedure.
I love when they drop it onto her chest, and he's like, I can't get it off your chest without your permission.
I died when it landed, and she's like, take it off. And yeah, Chris is like, I can't touch your boob unless you give me permission. And she's just like, you have my permission. Shows you that the Jackass guys are upstanding gentlemen.
Yeah, I love that.
like he wants to help, but he's like, oh, 2022, like I can't touch unless you give me permission. I'm not touching there. Like I will let it sting you before I touch there.
The triple wedgie.
Oh my god.
This looks incredibly painful. Wee Man is strapped to a harness. Preston and Zach, our fattest jackasses, are high up, also strapped with just their underwear. They jump off.
Why not? Because why not?
Yeah, why not?
With beds that have piss stains on them. I need a point because it's Jackass. We're not getting pristine quality here. $10 million budget. They are purposely going to find the worst shit they can find to make it as bad as possible.
Wee Man gets launched into the air and just like wedgied beyond belief. And I think Preston passed out like again.
It looked like he passed out again. I love how Wee Man was instantly just, let me down. Let me down.
My nuts. My nuts. He's screaming. The next one. Oh my, I honestly,
come on.
Okay. They get a shit ton of pig semen and dump it on Poopies, who thinks he's there doing an interview. They dress him up real nice. Was it Dave? I thought it was
Dave.
My mistake. That's even funnier. I love that he's like, I wanted to wear my funny hat, and now I know why they wouldn't let me do it. But first, Chris just decides to chug some as a throwback.
Yeah, he just does it. I love how there's no lead up. He just looks at it and he goes, huh, and then just fucking.
That's semen, all right.
Yeah, he's like, yep, tastes like semen. And then he even mentions the horse, and he's like, I don't know what was worse, the horse or the pig.
Oh.
And then I love how even Chef's like, I don't know. He's like, I don't throw up. Why am I about to throw up?
Well, I loved his rationale. Like, I like horse meat's supposed to be gross, but I like bacon's good. Like he's rationalizing why the pig cum tastes better.
Yeah. Like why he likes the pig cum with the horse cum. Not the fact that he's now drank cum twice in his life.
Oh God.
Yeah.
And then they just drop it on. God. Oh.
And then as they're laughing around Dave, Knox, and there was actually something they did right before they did this. They did the one with Tyler Crater, I believe.
That's right after this.
Okay. But they do that, and then fucking Knoxville, you see it quickly in the camera, tasers goddamn Aaron real quick, nonchalantly.
Oh God. I animal jizz. I can't get with that. That's so fucking up. That's so fucked up.
I love how Dave was kind of cool with it. He's like, they're like, it's pig cum. Dave's like, wait, what did you say it was? Pig cum. He's like, no, it wasn't.
Oh. Okay. Then we have the electric dance where Tyler, the Creator, is doing the piano, and a couple guys are tap dancing on a electrified stage. And I love that Tyler didn't know his bench was super electrocuted, and he gets a little pissed.
Yeah, I love how they don't tell him that. I love how they play it off at first, like he feels it a little bit, and he's like, "What the fuck is this? What is this?" They're like, "No, it's for the piano." So, like they play it off. It's like it's for the piano. It's like it's not the man. Don't worry about it. And you can hear me like, "I know this is metal. I'm not fucking stupid." They're like, just don't worry about it. And they get him to sit back down, and this time, the second time Knoxville actually zaps the living shit out of him.
Oh, they make Jeff sit on it, and he freaks the fuck out. That thing was.
I like when they're cheering for everyone. They're like, and we just want to thank everyone for being here, except for you, Jeff. And then Tyler Critter, fuck you, Jeff. Go sit on that. I like how they get poopies to sit on it during the credits.
Yeah. I do want to say, my mistake. They collect the pig semen, then the Tyler the Creator thing, and then they drop it on Dave. Okay, so you were right.
Yeah, because they get done doing this, and then Dave goes to his interview, and they hear it happen, and they run out to go laugh at Dave.
Then we got the bull stunt, which nearly killed Knoxville. He dresses up as a bullfighter or like a magician, walks into the bullpen. The bull rams him, flips him into the air. He loses consciousness for a bit. They take him to a hospital. He had a concussion, a broken rib, broken wrist, and some brain damage.
And yeah, man, it's kind of scary because like you hear him snoring. That's how he got that knocked out. You know it's bad when you can like when you get knocked out and when the person gets knocked out, you can kind of hear them like snoring. Like, that's bad. That's a good hit. And if you watch this movie, that was a hit he took. I mean, he flipped and like landed. And you can see the guys like at first, they have their big moment like, oh, and then when they realize like, oh shit, you can kind of see it on them like, Knoxville, you're right, Knoxville, and you can almost see like their collective relief when his eyes open. They're like, oh, thank God we didn't kill Knoxville. Like,
yeah, but
I love Knoxville getting on the fucking ambulance. Me like, did we get it though? like even getting sent to the hospital, he's like, we got it right? They're like, yeah, Knoxville, we got it. You did it. And yeah, like you said with the brain damage, I was talking about earlier, but when he was talking, like when they have the footage of him coming out and he's telling the audience what happened, and especially because he meant to comment about how he suffered like pretty bad brain damage, that he's fine now in case anyone's wondering, he's perfectly fine. But you can kind of tell when he's talking, it's like, ooh, yeah, something's not super right up there.
You got to admire the guy's dedication to the craft. Art is not safe.
No, not for these guys.
That's followed by the fucking bear stunt, which
was also terrifying. It was funny, but a little terrifying for Aaron. But I love how again they fucking trick him.
Yeah, he's in there with like a lie detector. I love asking him, like, are you really afraid of bees? Or I'm allergic to bees? And he's like, yeah. And they just keep shocking him. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. He's like, come on. I know I was tested. I love how they shock him before you can answer. He's like, I didn't fucking answer.
And then Knoxville douses him in honey, throws salmon on his crotch, and a bear shows up.
The look on Aaron's face. Again, this was the moment where the audience I had with, we started dying laughing when we saw the look on his face because that was true terror like I've never seen in a man before. Like, Aaron looked horrified when that bear came out.
Yeah, as you would be if you are strapped to a chair covered in honey and salmon and you didn't know this was coming.
Yeah, and then Knoxville is fucking with you and being like, just stay calm, Aaron, don't move, and then shocks him.
No sudden movements. Electrocutes him.
And you can see him like fighting, not yelling and moving. Like he's like,
my God. And the bear starts eating the salmon and then starts clawing at his dick.
Almost bit his hand too. You see it for a moment, it like kind of went for his hand and he moved it just in time. But it was like, and you hear him be like, it went for my fucking hand, guys.
Jesus.
Yeah, luckily before it escalates and you're thinking, are they really about to kill Aaron on camera? It's quickly revealed that there's literally a door right next to him with the bear's handler, I'm assuming the trainer, literally on the other side of the door, ear pressed against it. And I think when you can hear, I think when Aaron starts yelling that's going for his steak and he's like really getting scared, that's when they quickly cut and you hear the amateur go, okay, let's go in. And like he opens the door and gets the bear.
Jesus.
And then the guys come in and congratulate Aaron. And I love how he didn't believe them that they were done. Like he had a moment of like, I don't think you guys are done.
Are we really done? He was nervous. Then we got biggest fans where Jasper attempts to float with a parachute with a whole bunch of fans hooked up outside. And Poopy's attempts to surf also ends up falling. They're just flying down this ramp with a bunch of giant ass fans. It's funny.
He knocked himself out. I get a number of genuine concern from these guys. And I think he was actually like, he for a second did not know where he was at.
Yeah.
I think he said something that made you feel like, oh shit, he doesn't know where he's at right now.
Then we have the finale, which is the Vomitron. Zach, Dave, Eric, Poopies, and Jasper all drink milk, like a half gallon, and are strapped to a carousel that is moving at high speeds.
I love how I think it was Jasper, someone that puked, and you can hear Tremaine in the background. Are you seriously already puking, Jasper?
He's like, I'm trying.
Like there's genuine disappointment. Like, come on, this isn't Jackass. I need you guys to drink it first.
So they start vomiting, and then Knoxville and everybody else starts setting off fireworks. They bring in like a fucking army of paintball guys to just fuck them up. Oh boy.
He gets his own little tank to shoot balls at them.
It says Wee Man on the tank. Oh boy. So they all get fucked up by paintball in the milk. Steve-O reveals he took a paintball to the groin and his dick is bleeding. And that's
apparently got really hurt by the paintballs.
Yeah. And that's Jackass Forever. It's dedicated to Ryan Dunn's memory, which is nice.
Yeah,
and
that was that was a nice little moment. It got choked up a little bit because it, in the case of Bam, it's unfortunate that, in the sense that this man's not able to get the help he needs to not be a liability, essentially, and, be involved and do this. And that does suck. But in the case of Ryan Dunn, like he's dead. He passed away. And it shows how, like, again, I know I've said a couple times with their friendship, but again, it really shows how deep their friendship is amongst the core cast here, that even on the fourth film, they dedicated to him. And even before that, I remember when they were talking initially about a fourth movie, shortly after his death, one of the titles they had floating around was "We're Not Done Yet."
Aw.
So, you can tell even, I want to say almost 11 years since he passed. He's clearly still missed by them. They would have probably left nothing more for him to be involved with this one also.
Yeah, of course. Who's one of their best friends. You never forget your best friends. Yeah, Jackass Forever. How does it rank among the franchises? You think it's the best one?
I do. I think this is a franchise that, because they're so dedicated to outdoing what they did prior, they've gotten better. So for me, each film's constantly gotten better. And this film, as much as I love 3, this one was better. Like, to see them outdo themselves. And again, they touched it on a lot of the movie, but the fact they were willing to do this in their 50s and give us this one last hurrah of, them doing it, it's something special for this franchise. It really is something special. And it is, as of now, my favorite one.
Right on. That is Jackass Forever. This was a meaty one. We went through that whole damn movie.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
It's only right with Jackass.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for listening, everybody. If you like the show, you can always follow us on the socials, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Filmgazm Productions. You can always throw us some suggestions there. You can email us at filmgazm@gmail.com, or, check out the website, filmgazm.com, where we've got every episode of the show, reviews, trailers, articles, you name it. And if you want to support the show through Anchor, you can always click on support this podcast on your provider. We appreciate anything you want to throw our way. Next week, Kenneth Branagh's long-delayed Hercule Poirot sequel, Death on the Nile, arrives in theaters everywhere. That'll be the focus of next week's episode, but who knows what else we'll find along the way. I know I'm looking forward to this more than you are. It's going to happen.
Yeah. Hopefully the film, I rinsed it off of Amazon Prime, card C for me, I can watch this week and at least have that to talk about also, to make up for this film that I'm not exactly excited about, because I've tried numerous times. Earlier it was through my mom watching the fucking TV show on PBS, I believe, or BBC, whichever channel was on. And then the recent Murder on the Orient Express, I just have not got into Agatha Christie or her character, Hercule Poirot. Just cannot get into it. I've tried. I really have. It's not my cup of tea, but I will obviously be watching this movie.
Well, I'm sure next week will be interesting. I hope you find something in it.
who knows? This might be the one that finally fucking brings it home for me.
Well, also, don't miss Ralph Bakshi's bizarre fantasy flick Wizards on Wednesday's Filmgazm, The Pyramid on Friday's Beyond the Bad, and the 2011 documentary Undefeated on Oscar Sunday. Have a great week and keep watching movies.